Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining us. Welcome to leg 3 of our 4-part mini-series on how to get the most out of LinkedIn. If you missed the previous 2 sessions, don't worry. One of them is on YouTube. The other one is nowhere to be found, and the previous one is nowhere to be found. Why? Because we were practicing with the technology and learning how to do it. We will repeat the series at the end, in the second week of February. And next week, we will be having a free-for-all Ask Us Anything. So let me introduce myself quickly. Hi, my name is Kenneth, also known as the Hoodie Guy. And sharing the stage with me today is Shira, also known as The Voice. As you can see, she's chuckling very hard about being the voice. The question is, why is she called the voice? Go on, Shira, tell us.
I have no idea. Why am I called the voice? No, because I can do the voice for Mind the Gap and to help you find your voice on LinkedIn.
Yes, and this is the point of today's exercise, is to actually help you build influence on LinkedIn and find your voice. And we joke about it, but actually Shira's key element of what she does is all about getting the way you sound in your head to be the way you sound on paper. And that's kind of really, really important when we get to LinkedIn. So we've done our introductions. We've said hi to the world. We're now going to move on to the favorite part, which is our little presentation. And it's a 30-minute session, so stick around. Really, it's not a lot of stuff that we go through, but it will help you get a much better grasp of LinkedIn. So what are we going to do today? The first thing is a lot of people don't understand the entire user journey in LinkedIn. And because they don't understand that, they don't understand the impact of a post versus commenting. So we're going to touch on that. We're also going to touch on some key items in your profile that you need to look at, that you need to make sure are in play before, and this is very key, before you go out and start doing outreach and networking, because this will determine whether people will actually build a relationship with you or just never talk to you. Okay. Then we're going to show you how to find advocates. And I say how to find advocates because, unfortunately, a lot of people on LinkedIn are chasing the sale. They're not actually building networks. And I want to share a little story of why networking can be so important and how I learned the hard way. Networking is not about showing up and being a wallflower. Like 35 years ago, I used to be a salesman for Timeshare. We used to sell points. I'm sure a lot of people of you have heard of those things. You sell points and then you can have a holiday anywhere in the world. And I went out to the mountains because this place was in the Drakensberg, which is in South Africa. And I didn't know how to network. Well, considering I'd just come out of the army, my idea of the world was very, very different and challenging. And the owner of the business got up and he presented to all the people who'd come to Champagne Sports about timeshare and points. My job after the presentation was to go and talk to people and make friends with them. I didn't make any sales that night. I also didn't last a lot longer than 5 days because at the end of the week, I no longer sold timeshare anymore. And the reason was pretty simple. I was terribly shy and didn't know that part of networking was you needed to go up to people and say, hi, how you doing? And find out about them and engage with them. So what was happening is I would go to the bar, get a beer, and sit at the bar and wait for people to approach me. Networking doesn't work like that. Networking is all about conversation, real conversation. And that is something that a lot of people have forgotten about. When they go to LinkedIn, the people that you're talking to, when you comment, on the other side, it's an actual person. It's not just a photograph. And I think we forget that, because when we go to real live networking, it's easy. We know there's a person on the other end. We'll stick out our hand, we'll shake hands, and we say, hello, how are you? And we'll listen to them and we'll give them the time of day. But when we're doing this on LinkedIn, we seem to miss that. So when you bear that in mind and consider this, okay, your LinkedIn user journey, you've got two really major areas of driving people to your profile. The first, which is common and everybody has a go at it, is to generate a post. The first thing that I just need to mention, the elephant in the room, is if you're not a professional copywriter, you are going to struggle to get your posts to get traction. And the reason being is you're not going to understand things like hooks, spaces, breathing space, the size of the actual post, the width of the post. You're not going to understand how to have the lead, how to build in the call to action, but you are going to write a post. Or you're going to do what, please don't, everybody does, is you're going to simply go to chat and say, hey, write a post for LinkedIn. And chat will say, let's delve into this. Hey, LinkedIn fam. And anybody who reads it knows it's a chat post. And they also know that it's not really you. So if you're not a copywriter, ask yourself, do you need to spend the time learning how to write copy? That being said, once you've hired your copy team and you've got content out there, 10%, that's right, only 10% of your audience is actually going to get to see your post. So the whole idea of creating the content is to get people to come to your profile. Now, if only 10% of people who see your post of your followers are going to see your profile, that's a lot of effort for very little return. On the other hand, and let's put the numbers in real terms. If you've got 3,000 followers or 3,000 connections, that means you might get 300 people who get shown your post, and you might get 20 people who engage with your post. On the commenting, which is another channel that people will take to get to your profile, the odds of them looking at your profile go up exponentially for one very simple reason. When you talk to someone, excuse me, that someone wants to reciprocate and will probably want to talk to you. Shira, please carry on.
So when you're busy posting and you're engaging on content, actually have a conversation. So things like, if you're going to comment, don't just do congratulations or well done. Do something that would be a normal conversation sentence that you would use if you were standing with that person and conversing. So make sure that the comment that you give engages with the person who wrote the post, but also with anyone else that is commenting on that post as well. Use it as a conversation starter. How are we doing, Kenneth?
Sorry, guys. I'm just getting over some flu. I tried to throw up a lung there. Having two lungs is clearly overrated. Right. Sorry. Carrying on. So thank you, Cheryl. So yes, you want to have a conversation. And yes, they will feel the need to reciprocate and go and look at your profile. So effort versus reward, more comments,
more profile views.
Thank you. It's a really simple equation.
And we've seen this in practice when we've had someone who, with Kenneth, who did a trial and did no posts for a week, but only engaged in comments, and his impressions actually went up. And we've had another team member also do the same thing, where the main strategy, there were some posts, but her main strategy was commenting, and her impressions and her profile views skyrocketed because people are like, who's this having a conversation with me?
And you can choose who you want to talk to. And that's one of the things we're going to touch on today, is how to find those people. And I use the term fishing hole. What I mean by a fishing hole is effectively somebody out there has got a lot more influence and has a much bigger audience than you or I. And that somebody could be Eric Popka, who's the example I'm going to use today, 900,000 followers, has a post and gets 600 comments. That means I can go and select and see who's active currently, leave a comment, view their profile, and know full well that because they're online, they are probably, in all likelihood, going to come back and view my profile. So when we go from the fishing hole and you leave a comment, part of the exercise is to actually make enough noise that they do want to come and look at you. And this is where we talk about things like ringing the bell. And if you haven't told them to ring a bell, then
They won't.
They won't. It's a funny thing, especially in this world of digital marketing. People need to be told what to do. That's why when we have something called a landing page, when people get to the landing page, if you give them too many choices, they will opt for making no choice. If you give them a lot of choices and you don't tell them what to do, they'll also do nothing. Emails, when you say to people, please reply to this email on this date, well, then they will do that. But if you imply that they should reply, well, I think we all know what happens there. They don't reply.
Not much.
No, not much. And I think everything in your mind when you're on LinkedIn is to understand one key objective. And that key objective is to get people to reply to you and have a conversation. That's it. It's no more complex than that. So that's our presentation. I'm sure you love these really long PowerPoint presentations. Hey, Shira, how was that? That was good, eh? Like not even 2 minutes. Right. So let's get into real world scenario. I'm going to choose the screen and I'm going to share a screen with you guys. And hey, there's Shira and myself again. Well, actually, me as my profile. So one of the things that I was pointing out is the instruction. So on my profile, yes, it rotates, I know, but you'll see there's text that says, ring my bell. If you go to Shira, carry on, please.
So you're going to go across to my profile there, Ken, where we've also got the ring the bell, so you can actually see the bell option. I know you're dying, but please come along. So basically, you've got an option when you ring the bell. You've got the first one, which is just for content that you might find relevant, but you actually have the option to ring the bell for everything. So if they are quite active online, it's really good to actually select the bell and select all, because then when they are active online, you will know about it and it'll be in your notifications. If you don't have a bell, it means you have to most times actively go and look to see what they're doing. And that's why you want someone to ring your bell, because you want to show up in their notifications so that they can interact with you. So that's why we ask people to ring the bell.
And that's the same reason why we refer to your homepage, your profile, as a landing page, because it has a requirement, and its requirement is to get people to take action. So ring my bell is the first really important call to action. The next and probably most overlooked call to action is the newsletter. The newsletter, unfortunately, is a bone of contention in a lot of people's minds, because there's this fear-mongering going out there that LinkedIn will banish you from the platform. Truth, LinkedIn will banish you from the platform if you're naughty. And naughty means say things that are not nice, encouraging. Also, if you use certain automation products. So go back in your head and think, I'm on LinkedIn because I want to network with real people, and real people want to network with me. So if I automate it and I focus on chat and I want to smash out numbers, well, then you're not really using the platform for the way the platform was designed. And yes, it will spit you out. If, on the other hand, you do use it the newsletter is the easiest way to get a person into your database. You have it, and I always recommend you put the newsletter in your featured section on the left-hand side.
Make it easy.
Make it easy. It's a single click to get them to subscribe to your newsletter. Just one click. And when you're on mobile, the only block that displays is the left block. So if they're flicking through it and they go, oh, newsletter, tap subscribe, and they move on. That means I now have the ability from year on in to nurture them and grow them into my network. And obviously, based on the fact that they are in my network, I can also see all of them. Now, if you think about this from a Google ad perspective, or for that matter, you want to take them off the platform and get them to subscribe to your off-platform newsletter. When they subscribe, all you get is their name and email address, and maybe their last name. Yeah, I get all their information. And from here, I then redirect them to subscribe to my offline newsletter. So yes, build up a separate database, but this is the easier way to do it. Make as little friction as you can in the process. So what I was saying originally, and what I'm coming back to, is this is a landing page. This is a sales page. This is a conversion page. The objective is to get them to do the simplest, easiest thing. And that is to make them available to you to have a conversation. Once you've done that, you now need to begin to understand how to get people to you. And this is where the user journey comes in. If I go and make a post and I get a bunch of people to come and look at the post, okay, I get some traffic. There we go. My audience is about 11,000 strong. 10% of them may see the post. And because we're across different time zones, I'm not going to get as many people seeing the content as I would like. But if I go and find one of my favorite people, Alex Hormozi. If you don't know who Alex Hormozi is, he's the...
Now you do.
Now you do. He's the owner of acquisition.com. He wrote some great books, yada, yada, yada. He has an audience. He's a fishing hole. People who want to grow their businesses are going to come here to learn how to grow their businesses. I'm going to come here to find people that I want to talk to. And I'm going to go into his content and I'm going to see, 580 people left a comment. That means I can potentially go and talk to 580 people. Now, obviously, all 580 people are not my ideal client. So I will leave a comment. I will change this to most recent. And I will go look for people that haven't had a comment made. Oh, there I am again. Yes, I prepped this. I have come in earlier today to leave the comments to save the time. The point being is, Cynthia, I jumped in and I left a comment. But you'll notice nobody else left a comment. Then I've gone further down and I left a comment to Nicole. And Nicole replied. What I also do whenever I do this is I right-click, open link in new tab. So over here, you'll see Cynthia right over there. I've looked at her profile. So if she goes to see who's viewed her profile, she will see me. And she will see I left a comment. So if she's curious and looked at my profile, the odds of her accepting my connection request are almost 100% because we've had a conversation. If I go to Nicole, same thing happens. I can see who Nicole is and I can connect with Nicole if I wanted to. So, and I know this is contentious.
Sorry, that's me coughing.
Send without a note is by far the easiest way to get a connection. The exercise was done by myself, where I sent out 147 connection requests. In each connection request, I used the phrase, hi, open brackets, first name, close brackets, and would you like to connect? 5 people replied to my message saying I hadn't filled out the placeholder. The rest of the people simply accepted my connection. And when I say the rest, I mean 131 connections accepted out of 147. So for me, that answers the question. Do you need to put a note on to connect? No. So I've gone to a fishing hole. I found them. I've left a comment. Yeah. What that has done is it's driven them to look at me because they've gone, okay, well, who's Kenneth? And they've opened my profile. On my profile, they have the opportunity to subscribe to my newsletter. On my profile, they have the opportunity to have a conversation with me. On my profile, they have an opportunity to read more of my content and maybe book for the next event. So those are all the options that come when I leave a comment and start a conversation. Now, by me simply doing that and liking that, I'm acknowledging that conversation. So these are all people that I left a call with earlier, and I've opened up their profiles. And now I can go, yes, I know him. He's my kind of guy. I'd like to have a conversation with him. So I could do exactly the same thing. I just hit connect, send without a note. Now, once they accept your connection request, you have this little button here that says My Network. When you click on My Network, you get to see all your connections. When you click on your connections, you can see recently added. And this is the people that have now accepted all my connection requests. If, on the other hand, you have Sales Navigator does that for you. It's got this really cool computer-generated list, i.e. AI-generated list from LinkedIn that anybody who connects with me automatically gets saved into my system-generated list. And that's how I grow my network. I'm growing my network with people that I actually want to have a conversation with every single day. And then I do something that just about nobody does. Once I'm connected, I send a personal video message. And the reason I send a personal video message is very simple to understand. Everybody gets texts. You get text on WhatsApps. You get text all over the place. So when your phone dings and you get a text, you're like, yeah, okay, cool, whatever. When you get a text on LinkedIn, you're also, okay, cool, whatever. But when somebody sends you a video, you're curious. Everything in you becomes curious. What do they sound like? Why are they sending me a video? Who are they? What? And then you push play. What that leads to is a subsequent video conversation, as is, I'm joking here, but with Al. And now we've become friends and we're having a meeting, but we've become friends through video conversation. I didn't try and sell him anything. I wanted to become a friend and network with him and see how I could add value to him and how he could add value to me. Out of that, opportunities arise. And as long as you're thinking that you need to rock up on LinkedIn and sell, and you've got to hit those numbers, you're going to be another one of those victims who are going to turn around and go, LinkedIn doesn't work. LinkedIn's not for me. I can't get LinkedIn to work. Oh, I will pay somebody to help me with LinkedIn. You don't pay people to show up at a network event for you. Well, maybe some of us do. But on a whole, when we're growing a business, we go out there, we put ourselves out there. We're authentic. When I go into a networking event, I stick my hand out and I'll say hi. The thing I don't do is go to a networking event and say, here's my flask. I'd like £10 for it or $5. Would you like to buy it? Because the answer you're going to give me is, no, this is not why I'm here. And that's where people get LinkedIn wrong. And that's why people battle to turn LinkedIn into a powerful networking platform, which, it was originally designed for. So yes, that was a lot of information, but just to recap, the key thing here is post once a week. So you've got regular content so people can see you. Comment more than you post. Why? Commenting is easier if you have a conversation. Commenting gets you far more reach than a post, unless, of course, your post goes viral. Because very now and then somebody gets a viral post and they're like, woohoo! But then they spend the rest of their lives trying to replicate it. If you're a copywriter, go for it. But if you're not, let's have conversations. Let's go in and have conversations. Shira's going to drop our links in. If you want to have a conversation with us, book a session. We're more than happy to have a chat with you. Review your profile. It's one of the things we like to do. We don't charge for it. So many people don't understand the key elements of their profile and how to tweak them, which is why we have the call, or we do a video for you. So comment. If in doubt, comment. If still in doubt, comment some more. If you want to post, do a post. Do a video post, because it'll probably be a lot easier. And then also think about when you're commenting, one of the hacks that I've got on my YouTube channel to save you time and to make it feel like you're actually having a conversation is, instead of typing out your comment, open up the text section where you're going to type it in, push the voice button, and speak your reply. When you speak your reply, the voice to text will happen. It'll be a longer comment, which means everybody's going to read it because they're going to be like, wow, nobody else leaves a comment like that. But secondly, it's going to sound like somebody's having a conversation. And then that's where we go, and we build on from that. So I think that pretty much wraps it up. Next week, same time, same place, LinkedIn Live. We stream both of these to YouTube. So if you missed it, you can go find it on YouTube under the Hoodie Guy, and you can find it on my profile. So you don't need to ask for any of the slides or anything. But yeah, that's it. Shira, any comments?
I think that one of the things that we've had come up in the questions is, how do I find that fishing hole? So one of the things that I do suggest to people to do is go to your ICP, go and look at your ideal client's profile and go see if they are commenting. If they are commenting, where are they doing it? Also, if you scroll to the very bottom of the profile, you'll be able to see who they are following. And that's also a good idea, to go and see who they follow. And that's a way to find out where the fishing holes are. And then the other thing was, we had someone ask about the ring the bell. You actually, when you have your banner created, on the banner itself, you can add the text ring the bell with a little arrow, so that it kind of tells people to do that. So those are the two questions that really came forward.
Yes. So, and commenting does drive your impressions up, ironically, funny, because people are looking at you. The finding your fishing hole is a challenging one, which is why I recommend people like Eric or Alex that you know are already relatively famous in the space.
Yeah, look at the amount of followers. So if you want to go and look at people that are really like going to be a top voice, then you want to go and see, do they get comments on their posts? Because you obviously, it's good if there is a little bit of conversation happening already. And if you go into the comments, you can see what people do. So you can scan the comments, and this is what I've done, is I scan the comments to see who has commented, and if their title, their position resonates, then I'll check what they've said and reply to them.
Yep.
Like their comment and then reply.
And always like your own comment.
Vote for me.
Yeah, vote for yourself. It's a really simple thing. So, folks, appreciate the time. Thank you for watching this video. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments.
And our links are there as well.
Lovely. So, yeah, book a session with us. If you'd like us to do a free review, because you're worried that if we have a calendar session, we might actually try and sell you something, we can do a 90-second video review of your profile, and then you don't need to worry about it, because I know people are. So again, thank you for taking the time to watch this and listen to this. And I look forward to seeing you all next week with all your questions.